Hello, Shabance Meteors. My name is Mrs. Gray. A lot of you might know me. I teach kindergarten in this school, and I think a lot of you might have been in my class before. I see some friends that I recognize. I see Aubrey, and I see Tristan, and there's Bristol, and I see Lily over there. And let's see, oh, there's Abigail. Yeah, I see a lot of friends that used to be in my class. Today I want to teach you something, and if you were in my class before, maybe you know some of this already, but I want to teach it to all of the kids in our school. And it's called sign language. Does anybody know what sign language is? Raise your hand if you know what sign language is. Yeah, I bet a lot of you already know what that is. I'm going to teach you some sign language today. Now, you might be wondering, why do we need to learn sign language? Well, number one, it's really kind of cool. You can communicate with your friends without even making any noise. Wouldn't that be great to be able to talk to your friends without making any noise? I bet that would make your teachers pretty happy, wouldn't it? Yeah, oh, I see Mrs. Cunningham is nodding her head. Yeah, I knew it, yep. So I'm going to teach you some sign language today, but I want to teach you it for one specific reason. We have a staff member in our building who uses sign language to communicate every day, all day long. And her name is Miss Holly. And Miss Holly is deaf. Do you know what it means to be deaf? Raise your hand if you know what it means to be deaf. If you're a deaf person, that means that your ears that you usually use for listening just don't work quite as well as they should. Sometimes they might work a little bit. Sometimes they might not work at all. And if you couldn't hear anything, it would be really hard to understand what somebody was saying, wouldn't it? Someone could be talking to you, and you might not even know what they were saying because you can't hear them. Well, Miss Holly has a couple of very awesome skills, and one of them is sign language. So I'm going to teach you a little bit of that today. She has another very awesome skill, and that skill is she can look at your face and your lips and your mouth when you're talking, and she can tell what you're saying by looking at your lips and watching your mouth and your teeth and your tongue and how it all moves together. Isn't that pretty cool? I know, it is pretty cool. Well, the only problem that we have right now with that skill, it's called speech reading, is that a lot of people have to wear a mask, don't they? And then you really can't see anybody's mouth. So I'm going to ask you, when you're talking to Miss Holly, would you please take your mask down so that she can see your face and your lips and your teeth and all of the things that we use to talk? And that will help her understand what you're doing better. Now, you know Miss Holly, right? She's the lady that helps us in the lunchroom, and she helps us out on the playground for recess. And also, when we have inside recess, she helps us with that too. That's the lady I'm talking about. She's really nice, isn't she? I know, she's really great. So we're going to start with teaching you her name. And her name is Holly. And when we tell somebody's name who's deaf, we usually use the first letter of their name and maybe some other letters. Anybody know what the first letter of Holly is? I hope you do. That's the H, isn't it? So I'm going to teach you the sign language letter H. And it looks just like this. You put two fingers together and you hold it sideways just like this. That's a letter H. Now, when we make Holly's name, we're going to use the H and we're going to use the letter I. And the letter I is just our little pinky. Now, make sure that your fingers are pointing away from you when you make the letter I. Got it? So let's practice that. H, I. And there's one more thing we have to do with that. We're going to put those two letters right by our chin when we say it. So we're going to put the H first and then the I next. And you just said Holly. Isn't that cool? Why don't you try it a couple times? Holly. Pretty good. Holly. I know it takes some getting used to at first. We have to move our fingers pretty quickly, but the more you practice, the better you'll get. Let's do it one more time. Holly. So now you can say her name. Isn't that great? She's going to love it when she sees you saying her name. So first thing I want to tell you is you already know some sign language. You know when you see somebody way over there and you want to tell them hello, you know what you can do, right? You wave. Did you know that you use sign language all the time and you probably didn't even know it? So you can say hello, and guess what else? Goodbye is the same way, isn't it? When your friend is leaving for the day, but you can't talk to them and you just want to say goodbye, you wave at them, don't you? So we already know hello and goodbye. And we can put those things together and say, hello, Holly. And I bet you she'll say it right back to you, won't she? She probably will. So let's do another one. How about good morning? Would you like to learn good morning? All right, here we go. I'm going to step back so you can see me better. Good morning's a little bit tricky. It's two different words, so we have to put two words together. Now, when we say good morning, we start with one hand on our chin and one hand out in front of us. And we go right from our chin, smacked into our hand. And that's the word good. Try it with me. Good. Nice. Do it again. Good. Good job. You guys are catching on. But we need another word, don't we? We need the word morning, and that gets a little bit tricky. So first we say good, and then we take this bottom hand and we put it over into our elbow area, and then we make our other hand go straight up in the sky. That's sort of like when the sun is rising in the morning. It starts off down low, but then it goes way up in the sky like this, doesn't it? That's the sign for morning. Let's try that again. Put your hand right here in your elbow and raise your arm up. That's good morning. It's a little bit tricky because there's a little bit of hand switching going on. So let's see if we can put it together. Put your hand on your chin. Put your other hand in front of you. Good. Now put your hand on your elbow and come back up. Morning. Let's do that again. Good morning. One more time. Good morning. All right, you keep practicing that and you're going to get a lot better. I know you are. So we can say Miss Holly, we can say good morning, we can say hello, we can say goodbye. How about we also learn, I'm glad to see you. Would you like to learn that one? Let's do that. Glad to see you. First of all, we got to learn the word glad. It's also the same as the word happy. So we're going to go like this, happy. Like we're touching our chest and brushing it upwards. Happy. Happy to see. We're going to use our two fingers just like our eyeballs. Touch your cheek with your middle finger and go forward with your two fingers. See you. That's an easy one, isn't it? Let's try it again. Happy to see you. Try it again. Happy to see you. That's great. You guys are doing so awesome. Now, I also thought it might be helpful for you to learn some words that Holly might say to you. Do you think we could do that? I bet we could. I'm going to teach you the first one that I think Miss Holly might say to you. And the first one is recess. Who likes recess? Raise your hand. We all like recess, don't we? I know we do. So the sign for recess goes like this. You have to have both of your fingers crossed, and then you twist them in front of you, just like this. Recess. Recess. That's pretty easy, isn't it? But I have a feeling she might be saying that recess is over sometimes, right? So this is what it might look like. Recess is over. I know that's a little bit tricky. Put your palms up and then twist them down. Over. Put your palms up, twist them down. Over. Recess is over. Yeah, can you do it? Try it again. Recess is over. Good job. Keep practicing. I can see you getting better all the time. Something else she might say is it's time to clean up, right? Time to clean up. I know, it's not very fun, but we have to do it, don't we? So the sign for time is like this. You touch your wrist right where your watch would be. That's the sign for time. Time to clean up. You turn your hand over and you pretend you're cleaning a table with your hand. Clean up. Clean up. Clean up. Let's put it together. Time to clean up. Got it? Let's do it one more time. Time to clean up. Good job. She also might tell you that it's time to line up, right? So we already know time, don't we? Time. Now this one's a little bit tricky. Time to line up. We're going to pretend that all of our fingers are little people. And I'm going to have one hand that has my palm facing me and one hand that has my palm facing out. And we're going to have those two hands touch the pinky finger to the thumb. Now, doesn't that look like a whole line of kids? Yep, that's it. That's line up. Time to line up. Time to line up. Are you practicing? I hope you're practicing. Good job. Something else she might tell you to do is sit down. You think that she might tell you that sometimes? I think she might. That's an easy one. We're going to put these two fingers on top of these two fingers. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. That's not hard. I bet you might know what stand up is. Do you think you know what stand up is? You put your hand out and you put your two fingers right on your palm, just like you're a person standing up. Doesn't that look like two little legs standing up? So we have sit down and stand up. Sit down, stand up. Good job. Oh, let's see, what else? Oh, manners. Manners are always good, aren't they? So we all know how to say please and thank you when we're talking to adults and each other, right? So we should use the words please and thank you when we're talking to Miss Holly too, shouldn't we? We should. So the sign for please looks like this. You put your hand on your chest and you just rub it in a circle. Please, please. Oh, that's an easy one, isn't it? And thank you is pretty easy too. You put your hand on your chin and you just bring it out towards the person that you're thanking. Thank you, or thank you, or thank you. Thank you. Please do it with me. And thank you. Good job. I think that maybe another thing you might need to know is restroom, because if you're at recess and you need to go to the restroom, it would be really nice to be able to ask Miss Holly in sign language, wouldn't it? It would. So let me show you. Restroom looks like this. You put your thumb right in between your first two fingers. You see that? And you twist it. Restroom. 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 So if you need to use the restroom when you're at recess, you can go to Miss Holly and you can say, restroom, please. And then when she opens the door for you to go inside, you can say, thank you. Isn't that good? I know, you're getting ready to communicate in sign language and we've only done one lesson. Isn't this awesome? Please, thank you, restroom. Good job. I think that's probably enough for today, isn't it? Do you think so? I think so too. I think you've done a really good job. Now, I need you to do something for me. I need you to practice. And if you need to watch this lesson again, you can talk to your teacher and maybe she can find a time where you can watch this lesson again so everybody gets a turn to practice, okay? And you don't have to practice with a grown-up. You can practice with your friends. You can practice with some people at home if you want to teach them some sign language too. I bet they'd be really impressed if you came home and started teaching people in your family some sign language, wouldn't they? I bet they would. All right, I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you have a lot of fun learning sign language and communicating with Miss Holly. It was good to see everybody. Talk to you later.